Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. There we go. Escape from New York, not just a movie anymore. The reason why I wanted to talk about this one is because New York has changed laws, and they've changed laws to where if you go on a date with a woman and she has a couple of drinks and she does say it's okay to take her to the bedroom and you have a little bit of the old in and out, she no longer, by New York law, can consent. This is a law by New York City, that she cannot consent because she's consumed alcohol. So you see, she's no longer a responsible adult. Once a woman has a drink, you have to treat her like a 4-year-old, and that she cannot make judgment for herself. And if you think I'm kidding, look up the law. I did a video on it. There is a law that if she drinks, she cannot consent to bedroom fun. Well, New York, the reason why I'm doing this, and I know this doesn't necessarily have to do with being a, quote, bachelor, but I'm telling you guys, you need to pay attention to laws. You need to pay attention to what's going on in your local area. And if you live in large cities, they've gone kind of so woke and crazy that the laws can change so quickly. You may not be aware of it, and you may get yourself in a lot of trouble. And I want to talk about this from New York City. The Manhattan District Attorney to stop seeking prison sentences in slew of criminal cases. So, now this is from January 4th. This is literally from yesterday. The Manhattan District Attorney is to stop seeking sentences in a slew of criminal cases. Now, why? Because they're saying, well, the people that are jailed are disproportionately minorities, and there's no type of like, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no type of rehabilitation in prison. It's just, it ends up just ruining people's lives. And I can see where you would say, hey, throwing somebody in jail for 20 years and just letting them sit there and rot does no good for that person. I agree. But it does a lot of good for society, because that person, depending on their crime, is out of society. Now, a guy that gets caught with a couple of Mary Jane J's, that's not a big deal. Somebody that does something that involves a weapon or, risks someone else's life, it's kind of a big deal. And you can rehabilitate in jail. We can make some changes there. But to just say, well, don't put them in jail at all, especially when some of the people might have mental issues, they might whatever. Well, but I'm covering this because if New York City does it, LA is going to do it. San Fran's going to do it. Some like Detroit and Chicago are going to follow suit. Austin, Texas might follow suit because they've gone kind of left. They say, who needs soft on crime judges when the district attorney doesn't even want to lock up the bad guys? Manhattan's new DA has ordered his prosecutors to stop seeking prison sentences for hordes of criminals and to downgrade felony charges in cases including armed robberies and drug dealing, according to the set of progressive policies made public Tuesday. Now, we can talk about the drug dealing part, but when you start including armed robberies as now a misdemeanor, which is a fine, you're going to have some problems. Armed robberies are going to skyrocket. And already the homicide rates are way up in all major cities this year versus last, which are way up from the year before that. But I'm telling you guys this again, less of a bachelor thing, but more of a, hey, pay attention. Because if you don't pay attention, you might be in a convenience store just getting something to eat or drink or buying something. And next thing you know, there's a dude there with a weapon pointed at the clerk, pointed at you, because he wants to rob the place. And even if he gets caught, he's not going to jail, which means if it's just a misdemeanor or something, he'll be right back out on the street to do it again. And they're going to get emboldened. And as a smart man, you need to know this so you can protect yourselves. In his first memo to staff on Monday, Alvin Bragg said his office will not seek a carceral sentence except with homicides and a handful of other cases, including household harm, felonies, some sex crimes, and public corruption. This rule may be accepted only in extraordinary circumstances. based on a holistic analysis of the facts, criminal history, victims' input, particularly in cases of harm or trauma, and any other information available. Now, and again, like this is NYPD here. This is a smaller guy, and you've got these 3 female officers that are smaller than this guy, right? This is a pretty big cop. This is a, average-sized dude. These are pretty petite females. And when these guys get emboldened, these criminals get emboldened, do you not think that they're going to fight back against cops? You're going to see, and like I'm not saying that women shouldn't be cops. I don't think they should, personally. I mean, if they want to work but I'm a small guy. Like I'm probably the height of these women. Like I'm 5'6", 5'7" if I wear thick socks. Like I'm not a big dude. I was a law enforcement officer in the military. Sometimes we had to wrestle down big guys. And if I didn't have cuffs on that, because with cuffs, you can at least lift his arms up together when they're wrenched behind his back, and that, impinges on the shoulders and will force somebody down on the ground. If he's not in cuffs yet, if a big guy like this guy wanted to punch Joker in the face and throw me to the ground, I'm having a bad day. If my pepper spray or we used mace at the time. We didn't have pepper spray. If I used mace and a taser on this dude and it didn't work, Joker's last option, my last option would have been lethal force if it came down to my life. Where a bigger guy might not have had to use the same force, which means in some instances, a stronger, more capable physical guy might have to use less force ultimately if somebody is resisting or trying to hurt him. Because these gals, they've got their mace pepper spray and then that's it. Then it's bang, bang time. But I want you to read these I want you to hear these charges again, because you watch the other cities are going to start following suit on this. And there's 15 million or 11 million. I think maybe it's 8 million. I don't know. Close to 10 million, we'll say. Americans that live in that city. And when you start combining that city and LA and Chicago and Detroit and some of the other cities, you're talking about 50, 60 million Americans. Not in just those cities, but in big cities. This is the new laws. Armed robbers who use guns or other deadly weapons to stick up stores and other businesses will be prosecuted only for petty larceny, a misdemeanor, provided no one was seriously injured and that there's no genuine risk of physical harm to anyone. I got news for you. If you use, they say who use deadly weapons to stick up stores is a misdemeanor, but they say there has to be no genuine risk for physical harm. I don't know about you, but a 9mm long-range hole puncher is a pretty big threat to physical harm. They say armed robbery, a Class B felony, would typically be punishable by a maximum of 25 years in prison, while petty larceny subjects offers offenders up to 364 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. Now, what happens really? Yes, you can get 365 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. Usually you're given a ticket and let go. So now they're talking about armed robbery with a deadly weapon sticking up a store will be a misdemeanor, listed as petty larceny. Crime is going, guys, if you live in these cities and they're doing this stuff, you need to get the F out of there. Like, make plans before it collapses. Seriously. Because if you're the last to go, you're going to get the least amount of money for your whatever you're trying to sell. Like, get out. I know you may like the area. They say convicted criminals caught with weapons other than guns will have those felony charges downgraded to misdemeanors unless they're also charged with more serious offenses. Criminal possession of a weapon in the third-degree Class D felony is punishable by 7 years behind bars. That's going to get downgraded to a misdemeanor. Burglars who steal from residential storage areas, parts of homes that aren't accessible to a living area, and businesses located in mixed-use buildings will be persecuted for a low-level Class D felony that only covers break-ins instead of more serious crimes. Now, that says accessible to a living area, so that may not be your house, but your business, your car, your storage unit, anything, that's not a serious crime anymore. And here's the thing, with all these crimes ramping up, there are not enough police to respond to them all. So even if they would be a felony of some sort, the cops are going to be so busy that they by choice have to sort which ones to deal with, and they're only going to deal with the most serious stuff. And I know this because many people have mentioned, hey, I was in San Francisco and I had a laptop stolen out of the back seat of the car. And I called the police and we told them about it. And they said, okay, here's your report number for your insurance company. And they're like, are you going to come out and do any investigation? And they're like, no, we're too busy and we have other things going on. So that's a cop that's police being too busy. And that's someone getting away with, grand theft if it was a laptop. They say dealers believed to be acting as a low-level agent of the seller will be persecuted only for misdemeanor. So now you can pretty much sell. But don't get caught. Don't get caught without a mask. And don't get caught without your passport, because they will arrest you for that. They say charges should be brought consistent with the goal of providing services to such individuals, and leveraging during plea negotiations should not be a factor in this decision. Now, remember, they've also now gone to no bail release in New York City, which means that all these people that do these crimes are released the same day in most cases with no bail, and they're back out of the street to commit another crime. We're going to have a bad time if you're in New York City. But I'm telling you, the thing is, it's going to be more dangerous for cops. It's going to be more and I'm not a super fan of cops right now going around and arresting grandmas for not wearing a mask. Not a big fan of that. But what's going to happen is police officers are going to be in a lot more risk. It's going to be more dangerous for them. And remember, they get paid to do this. And there's a point in time where you go, you know what? This is not enough money for me to risk. And what they'll do is they'll just sit in their cars. They'll respond to crimes slowly. When they get there, they'll take some statements and then they'll just bugger off. They say there are already too many people who believe they can commit crimes, resist arrest, interfere with police officers, and face zero consequences. Right. So not only are the charges being dropped down lower, but again, without the bail reform, they can just walk out. A Manhattan police supervisor said the identical platform has not worked out in San Francisco, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. Exactly. It will lead to more young lives lost to violence, and innocent people being hurt both physically and emotionally. Another Manhattan cop fumed. This is outrageous. He was elected to enforce the law. If he wanted to change them, he should have run for state office. During a news conference Tuesday to announce the indictments of 17 members of 3 gangs in Brooklyn, Mayor Eric Adams was asked for his reaction. He said, I have not communicated with the DA. I have not looked over and analyzed exactly what he's calling for. But Adams, a former NYPD captain who was elected on a law and order platform, added, I have a lot of respect for DA Bragg, a former prosecutor. He has real vision. Adams said he planned to meet soon with state and federal lawmakers to get in the room and operate off the same playbook. We can have the same justice we deserve with the public safety we need, he said. Good luck to you. I will be really interested to see how these cities collapse and what happens to them. Because it's happening. They're just becoming crime-ridden. I was reading a story where people now that drive into San Francisco and in various parts of L.A., they're leaving their cars unlocked and their trunks open when they park their cars. Like they take everything out of the car, everything, and they leave the doors unlocked and the trunks open so that people that want to steal something can come up, look and see nothing in the trunk, open the doors, see nothing inside of it, and these people are praying they don't bust their windows or pry their trunks open with a screwdriver because the cops won't do anything. So the criminals are so emboldened that they just go around smashing cars and reaching in and pulling out whatever they want. So people, at least to try to protect their cars, are now opening the trunks and leaving them unlocked or leaving the windows rolled down. Like, please do not smash my stuff. And what amazes me is, number one, the laws continue. Number two, the crime's going to get worse. And number three, dumb people still live there. And I'm sorry, if you're in an area where you have to do this, and you like, yeah, but you know what? San Fran's got a lot of other things to offer. I mean, there's this and that. I'm sorry, you're an idiot. Your taxes are going to pay for the government that is doing this to you. You're stupid. This is what your taxes are buying. So I tell this, I know it's a little political-ish, but I tell this to you guys because you better know the laws in your area, whether it's for dating, whether it's for the snuggle struggle, whether it's for what happens if she has a drink while you're out, whether it's what happens because the crime is going to skyrocket. And who gets hurt the most when the crime skyrockets? Who's usually the ones that are involved in the most altercation? It's men. It's men, so you better be ready for this stuff. All right, let's do a dating profile of the day. All right. This girl looked like a kind of a girl next door. Not too bad looking. She's 22. She's an EMT. She's goofy as hell. Okay, I'm all right with goofy as hell. Bi-furious. She says, please tell me you get the reference. No, I do not get the reference.
This time we are sure she's a woman, right?
I don't know what that means. I get bi-curious, but bi-furious, I don't know. Someone help me down below. She's a Wiccan, violently quiet at times, and a closeted rascal. I don't like when you say you're violently anything, especially quiet. Does that mean you sit there and stew while you're angry and then I wake up with a sharp object sticking out of me somewhere? Or is that just a cute way of saying you don't like to talk much? But, you know, being goofy as hell and quiet is kind of a weird combo. But she's a Wiccan. She says, if you're a Republican, please don't talk to me. Okay. I have short hair now. Hee. Wonder what color it is. I wonder what color it is. Because she's got the 2-3-tone. It's black on top, and then she's got some brown down here, then some blonde. She's got some 3-tone action here. Maybe that wasn't getting her enough attention. She had to go to hot pink. And she's like, I'm kind of into climbing now. Question mark. I'm kind of into climbing now. The only thing I'm making fun of out of this one, honestly, is I don't know what bi-furious means. Wiccan, I mean, are you really Wiccan, or is this another cool way to say you're into, I don't know, being a druid or a witch or something else weird? And if you're a Wiccan, I know nothing about this stuff. I can't keep up with all of it, you guys. All of you that make fun of me, it's like, dude, it really is part of I don't care. I can't keep up with it all. You do you. Be happy doing you. But if you expect me to care or understand what the hell you're talking about, not going to happen. Closeted rascal. I don't know. This wasn't really a bad one. But the thing is, again, it's like, okay, if you're into certain politics, you're out. If you're into, you have to appreciate me being a Wiccan, and that I'm bi-furious, and that I'm goofy, and that I'm... Why? No. Just stop it. Normal. Be normal. And now she's got short hair. I guarantee you it's hot pink. Just be normal. Guys, again, thank you for all your support, all your love, both on Locals, here on locals.com, as well as YouTube. You guys have made my life and the ability to take care of my family and my father for his final year of being around much easier on my family. So thank you for your support and all of that. Thank you for all of your donations, either to PayPal or over on betterbachelor.locals.com. You guys, even the coin tips on my posts on locals, that all makes a difference. And what's really makes me happy is that, my father, even though he passed, and due to his health issues, his mind was still relatively okay right up until the end. So he didn't go down the path of being confused or angry or mean to my mom, and we didn't need to have long-term care for him, which means that not only the funds you help, not only the funds that you supply by watching me and donating, not only that make my father comfortable, but that means that my mom will, whenever she has an issue or has any struggles, that I can help her out with that. And that means a lot to me. So you guys giving to me means I can give to my family, and I can give to myself too. And it makes my life a lot easier. So thank you very much. Guys, don't forget, I will be doing a live stream over on YouTube probably in the next week. I will be doing a call-in show here shortly. I'm going to be doing another movie on Locals. We'll do another movie review. I've already done Idiocracy, and I've done The Thing. I'll have to find another silly movie to do because I got to cheer myself up. And we'll talk to you again real soon, guys. Thanks for the support, and we'll talk to you again shortly.